Kids Cooking Club is a program offered by Rutgers Cooperative Extension of Cape May County's Family Community Health Sciences Department. The program is for children ages 8 to 12 who are interested in learning about cooking nutritious foods. These hands-on classes are offered 4 times per year after school for 2 days. The basis of this program is USDA's My Plate. In each class series, we learn about a different food group and how to safely prepare food from that food group. This recipe is from the grain group, where we remind children that they should make half their grains whole grains every day. This is the recipe for banana muffins. Make sure that an adult knows that you're cooking and using an oven, and we're going to start by preheating the oven to 375 degrees. This means starting the oven and getting it warm to cook the muffins. Take muffin pan liners and line the muffin pans so that the muffins don't stick. These are the tools we'll need: a spatula to stir, a wooden spoon, measuring spoons of various sizes. This recipe calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/4, and 1/2 of a teaspoon. A liquid measuring cup that we know is for liquid because it has a spout to pour with. Muffin liners. Measuring cup for dry ingredients. You will need a medium bowl as well as a large bowl. And finally, you're going to need a whisk to whisk things together. The dry ingredients you are going to need are cinnamon, flour, brown sugar, and baking soda. The directions in this recipe ask you to whisk the dry ingredients together once you measure them all together in the medium bowl. Start with the flour and measure out 2 1/2 cups of flour in the medium bowl. Make sure to level off the cups and use the dry measuring cup. Next, measure 3/4 cups of brown sugar. I'm using a 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, so I'm using it 3 times to get the 3/4 cup measuring. Measure 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Remember to make sure the measurement of baking soda is flat or level on top so we get the right amount. The cinnamon measurement is 1/4 teaspoon. Once you have added all the dry ingredients, use the whisk to whisk them together so that all of the various colors of the dry ingredients are combined evenly. Once whisked together, the dry ingredients should look something like this. The other ingredients are overripe bananas, vegetable oil, salt, fat-free milk, vanilla extract, and eggs. If the bananas are overripe as this recipe calls for, they may have turned brown and be soft and mushy, like the ones shown here. Peel the bananas and put them into the larger bowl. Then take a wooden spoon and mash the bananas using the back side of the spoon until the bananas are mushy and broken up. Using the liquid measuring cup, measure 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. It might help to find the line on the measuring cup before you start pouring. Make sure to pour to the 1/2 cup line. It helps me to hold it up so that I can see on the measuring cup where 1/2 cup is. Add the oil to the mashed bananas after you've measured. Now we're going to add fat-free milk. Fat-free milk has the same nutrients and calcium as whole milk, but with a lot less fat, making it healthier for us. Just as you measured out 1/2 cup of the oil, measure out 1/2 cup of the milk. Salt's a dry ingredient, but in this recipe it requires that you add it to the wet ingredients. Measure out 1/8 level teaspoon of salt. Remember to make it level or even so that you get the correct amount that is required. Too much salt can be bad for us over a long period of time, but adding it to baking recipes is important to make it taste right. Ways to cut back on salt are to make sure you don't eat a lot of pre-packaged foods or that you don't add it to your dinner. Measure 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and add it to the other wet ingredients. Crack the eggs into the wet ingredients and make sure that you don't get any eggshells in the batter. I know that cracking the eggs is always everybody's favorite job when we're together. If you do get any shells from the eggs into the ingredients, just take a spoon and carefully get them out. If you get eggs on your hands, make sure to wash your hands very well. It's always a good idea to wash your hands often when cooking, but especially after cracking eggs. Raw eggs can cause you to get sick to your stomach with food poisoning, so make sure to handle eggs carefully. Stir all the wet ingredients and mix them well as I showed. Then take the dry ingredients and add them to the wet ingredients a little bit at a time. Then stir both the wet and dry together to mix. Add the mix evenly to the muffin pans. Make sure to get the same amount in each muffin pan so they cook the same way. Put the muffins in the oven and bake them for 25 minutes. You should set a timer for 25 minutes and check to make sure the muffins are cooked thoroughly when the timer goes off. Remove them from the oven and enjoy. Share with your family.